Alright, we are back with another video, and Pierre Poilievre just released an ad on X about a half an hour ago. And it's titled, "Does $500 billion cost less if you dressed it in a banker's suit?" Very intriguing. I want to hear what he's got to say. Let's have a look and then we'll talk about it after like usual.
Symbolism. See, in the recent election, to convince people that they were no longer the party of reckless spenders, they abruptly replaced a leader who looked like a reckless teenage trust fund baby with a stern-looking banker. The jet black, carefully groomed hair replaced the uncombed surfer dude hairstyle. The corporate dress shoes replaced the childish running shoes. The MBA lingo replaced the dreamy rhetoric. The spend less, invest more slogan replaced the budgets will balance themselves rhetoric of Justin Trudeau. Wow, what a change. But do the numbers back up the symbolism? Well, we found out this week. Prime Minister Carney tabled his first spending package before the House of Commons, called the main estimate. See, government has to get the approval of the House of Commons to do any spending. So they put forward this package, and it will stack up against the previous Trudeau spending. And to be fair, Mr. Carney's spending is not as bad as Trudeau's. It's worse. To start with, we know that he inherited a morbidly obese Liberal government, and he promised to, quote, spend less, but his first spending bill will increase costs by 8% more than Trudeau did in his last year in office. Let's get this straight.
That's crazy.
Justin Trudeau doubled our national debt and nearly doubled the cost of government. And Mark Carney was elected to bring those costs down, and in the first year after taking office, the year when you would expect him to take action against those out-of-control costs, he actually increased them by 8%. In fact, the spending will grow almost 3 times faster than the combined rate of inflation and population growth. It is a $500 billion spending bill with no budget. Single moms, seniors, and small businesses must budget before they spend. How come this supposedly brilliant banker cannot do the same, especially after he went around the country claiming to be the man with the plan? And no, this new spending is not, quote, investment, as he likes to say. Consultants, for example, get a record-smashing $26 billion, up 36% in just 1 year. That's over $1,400 for every household in Canada.
Wow.
In federal government consultants for the coming year. Spending on bureaucracy is up 6% to $63 billion. Again, almost doubling the pace of inflation and population growth. He literally promised in his Tuesday morning throne speech to cap operating spending at 2% per year. And then the afternoon of the same day, his government introduced a bill that would boost the overall spending by 8%. In other words, 4 times higher than he had promised that morning. Liberals changed the face at the top. You know, they plagiarized conservative economic speeches and messages. But all that really matters is the numbers. And the numbers don't lie. This is the same Liberal spending by the same Liberal team, which will bring the same Liberal debt, Liberal inflation, and Liberal taxes. It will mean our youth are still unable to afford homes, mothers lined up at food banks, seniors choosing between eating and heating. You know, you'll have to think twice before you even go for a little cup of coffee. So what do we do about it? Well, Conservatives are going to use our increased numbers in the House of Commons. We got an extra 24 seats and 2.4 million votes to fight for a lower cost government and more money in your pocket. We want cuts to bureaucracy, consultants, corporate welfare, foreign aid, and other wasteful spending to bring down debt, taxes, and inflation. We'll put hard caps on government spending. Instead of printing money, we'll empower Canadians to produce more of the stuff money buys: energy, homes, food, and more. That will bolster purchasing power with bigger paychecks that retain their buying power. We want to put you back in charge of your life and your money. We don't need a change in hairstyle in Canada. Not a new suit or a nice pair of shoes or even a fancy resume. What we need is a change in direction.
That's right. It was very well said. I mean, this is a brilliant ad that he just released because he's exposing what a lot of Canadians don't seem to understand yet. And that, yeah, this guy looks different than Trudeau, which, and again, a lot of people voted for Trudeau because of his looks, and well, at least he's a young guy, not a rich old white man. And then they replaced Trudeau with a rich old white man, and they still love him. Now, again, a lot of it was just like an anti-Pierre Poilievre vote, because for some reason, a lot of people like crime, and they like a lot of things being expensive and having a crappy housing market, no future. They like these things. Why? Because they're scared of things that liberals keep saying, like the climate, or like Donald Trump, he's going to annex the country, which is never going to happen. So that's how they won. They won by fear, and they pretended that Pierre Poilievre was this far-right animal like Donald Trump, yada, yada, yada. And it was all garbage. But the fear worked. But they have no other play. Like, they can try to instoke fear forever. And with some people, there's just people who are always going to be liberal no matter what. But there's a lot of people in Canada who are willing to switch their votes. Once they realize that Mark Carney is even worse than Justin Trudeau, and the Liberals don't have anyone else to get, and they can't just get rid of him because they voted away their power to do so, but even if Mark Carney resigned, who do they have? They have no one else. This is their last card, and it's not going to last 4 years. Does $500 billion cost less if you dress it in a banker suit? The answer is no. And we all know that. But there's people who need to be convinced, and they need another year or two of pain before they see it, and then hopefully they'll wake up and say, okay, all right, Liberals, we've given you 4 terms and 2 different leaders, and it didn't go well. And let's be honest, we all know, deep down, it's not going to go well. Same cabinet, same party, it's just a different leader. It's like putting a lipstick on a pig and pretending it's a different pig. No, it's the same pig, it's just wearing lipstick now. You know, it's crazy to me, but crazy to me that people will still vote for these clowns and think that they're going to change. They're the people that broke it. They don't get to fix it. And they're not going to fix it, and trust me, they don't have no plan to fix it, and that's why they don't release their plan so you can read it, or at least listen to them saying what their plan is, because they don't have one other than to keep destroying this country. But let me know what you guys think. Please don't be shy. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new one.